Yay, I
Good
think it worked.
morning.
Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, January 5th, 2025. I cannot believe it is 2025 already. And I know
Welcome to the new year.
I am not the only one saying it, but holy cow, how did we get here? It is, yeah, it got here faster than I thought. We've been talking about it long enough, though, that it's kind of funny because the last few times that I've had to write it, I didn't even mess up. I didn't write 24. I wrote 25 because I'm talking about 25 so much. Like it just seems really natural. Of course it is. But it does seem really weird that we're here already. So thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. It's Sunday in the studio. We're here in Hawke Studio this time. So we moved locations.
Maybe because Teresa's
Yeah.
studio is in prep for some exciting announcement that's happening in 3 days.
Yes.
What's happening on Wednesday, the 8th?
Wednesday, we start our new show. So I'm very excited. So on Wednesday, we start a new series. We're calling it Make with Teresa Coates. And we have been working on the idea for this for a long time, and we are super excited about it. So I am, very much looking forward to doing this. If you've been following us for a long time, which I know a lot of you have, you know that we started the live show with Shannon Fabrics in 2020. Yes. And we did that for about 4 years. And then we stopped doing that last April. And we came out here. And we are really excited to get back to it because there's a lot about doing the live show that we really that we love doing. So we learned a lot over the 4 years, right? Like we're not actually going to do it every week because that was some insanity.
Once a month.
Once a month, and it'll give us a little break in between. We're also going to talk. So the thing that'll be a little bit different about that show is that we're going to talk about like topics. So I'm not going to show you how to make a pattern per se. I'm going to show you how to do the things that relate to that pattern. So for instance, next Wednesday, we're going to kick it off with the thing that most people know me for, which is Cuddle. So we're going to talk about sewing with Minky fabrics and what Cuddle is, what's the difference between Cuddle and Minky, because it gets asked all the time. How do we cut it? How do we sew it? How do we pin it? All of these different things. And then I'll give you a bunch of tips on where to get more information, where to get patterns, all of that good stuff. What did we want to click on there?
I think it would be fun to show them just a little preview of the beginning of the show. This, I'm going to play just a little chunk of the new intro so you guys can kind of hear the new music and kind of see what direction we're going with that. Yeah. So this will take about 15 seconds or so. And here we go.
Yay!
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So that's the new intro for it. Obviously, there's a reason we're calling it Make, and it's because, that word is tattooed to me. So, and if you went to any of our shows, when we were on the road, I passed out at a bunch of them. I passed out little stickers that said Make with Teresa Coates. Years ago that I had this done. And so it just sort of kind of fell into place that this is what it needs to be. So I'm very excited about it. So that'll be on Wednesday. We kick it off. Like I said, we'll be talking about Cuddle, but then I'll give you lots of information on where to do more of that. So we actually do have an overlay. Let me go find that.
Shout out to Audrey, Teresa's daughter, who normally comes in and helps us with the background on these shows, and she is in Portland and very ill right now. So we're running it just to Teresa and I.
Yeah. So
let me scoot over. There you go.
So we're wishing her well. Both my kids got really sick right now, and so it's kind of a bummer.
It's going around, right?
And hopefully she'll be better. Both of them will be feeling better soon, but that's why she's not here to help us with the overlays today, because I was like, please rest and drink water.
So if we reach out and they're fiddling with stuff,
That's why. So Make debuts next Wednesday, and it's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 our time, 11 Central, and noon Eastern. we're doing these different topics. So this next month, like I said, this week is cuddle. Next month, we're going to talk about foundation paper piecing. The month after that, we're going to talk about English paper piecing. Then we're going to do precision piecing, which means like getting like really good points and how to get those accurate 1/4 inch seam allowances. Then we're going to talk about, then we'll be live from H&H. So that will probably be a truncated version because we will be there with our own booth, which is exciting. We'll talk more about that. And then in June, we're going to talk about upcycling fabric. So really what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a deep dive into a topic every month. And then I will showcase some patterns and additional tutorials, and then probably create some tutorials that will help you learn how to do that a little bit better. So hopefully that helps. And I really want to show you different ways of doing the same thing. So like foundation paper piecing is one of those things that there's like, 6 different ways to do a foundation paper piecing. I'll show you some different ways, and then you can try them out, figure out what works best for you, because if anything I've learned from teaching sewing over the years is that there really is no one perfect way of doing it. What works really well for me might work really well for you, but doing it this other way might work even better. So that's kind of the goal with Make, is just to kind of do these deep dives into various different sewing and quilting techniques. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really fun. And so we will be live Wednesday morning.
And I and my Ohio thumb will be back behind the camera,
right.
showing you all the best angles again and asking all of your questions and making sure that, you get the best experience.
Yes,
we have some questions in the comments. There's one I'm going to address, and I'm going to address it minimally. Bonnie asks, are you still working for Bienni? We are not still working for Bienni. That relationship has been a long-standing relationship. We love those patterns. Teresa loves those patterns. We love Annie, and the business side of that relationship and what we wanted to do with our time as far as teaching with you guys, it wasn't working out. So here we are. We're out on our own. We did start several, the Crinkle Dreams pattern company is taking off really well. Teresa's coat pattern is doing really well, and we have tons of things coming in the future, the near future from that, and we're looking forward to sharing all of that on this show and on Make.
So basically we just ended up doing a kind of a pivot and put our focus onto the pattern company that I've kind of just had in the background now for years, called Crinkle Dreams. And I had released the Elemental Coat, which is a quilt coat pattern, about 1.5 years ago. And we just kind of went with that. And then I've been releasing more patterns, which is a great segue into what the new pattern is. So every month, as part of the Dream Team community, I release a new pattern for them, and they get that as being as being part of the Dream Team. Then they get a free pattern every month. So you can go visit there. There we go.
There's
so you go,
you
go to Crinkle Dreams, and then you go to at the top it says Dream Team Community, and it'll tell you more about it. But one of those perks is you get early access to the patterns, and you get them for free. So thank you for all the people who are members already. It's great. There's lots of other things that we do in there, including the Makers Happy Hours, where we get to sew and stuff like that. This month, I released a new pattern. We're calling the Love Language Pillow, and it is this pattern right here. So it's available via PDF right now on crinkledreams.com. It's this cute little guy. We'll talk about it a little bit more on Wednesday and how to. So you got to put it above our heads, and then they talk. Something like that.
Oh yeah.
Ta-da! So it's a lumbar pillow is what it is. We'll talk about more about where to get those pillow forms and how to do that. The big thing for me that I'll be talking about on Wednesday is really how to do applique with it, and how you could combine this. This whole thing is made out of cuddle, but you could make it out of cuddle and cotton by doing the cuddle out of applique. And I will have small kits for the applique parts that'll be available on Wednesday that we'll talk about. Those aren't up yet, but they will be. But the pattern is available there. Exactly. And it is a download. It's $12. So anyway, so that's what we focused on really, is the patterns, and then getting back into stores and doing more teaching, because if anything I realized is that that's what I love doing, is I love getting into the stores and teaching. So I'm super excited about it. So we have a ton of things that are coming up next year.
It's announcements time.
So let's go through this. Oh, that was the wrong one.
Wrong one?
That's okay.
Show me. There we go.
So this is where you get to come and sew with us, hang out with us, and we will be doing stuff. So we're gonna roll through these. I will tell you all of this information and links to sign up for them are available on crinkledreams.com. So on there, sorry, I'll move over again. So on there, there's one of the, like in the navigation, up at the top, there is a calendar.
Oh, look
and then you can find
look at that. We've got, let's try that instead.
I don't know. We don't know which one can you see us? Can you not see us?
One of our screens has the images mirrored.
Okay. So I want to know.
Can you see both of our heads right now?
I really am like, which one can you see? Can you see? Can you see us?
That one.
Can you see me? Somebody tell me.
Okay, good.
Okay, so that's great. Okay, so in January the 18th, I am teaching at Fab Fabrics in Utah here, St. George, which I'm really excited about. In February, I will be up at the Portland Modern Quilt Guild, and I'll be doing a lecture and a workshop there for the Portland Modern Quilt Guild. I'm not sure that has been listed yet, but it will be. A few of these are early and like contracts are still getting sorted. It's confirmed, but not everything is out there yet. March 1st and 2nd, I will be back at one of my very favorite stores, Casey Maker Studio and Fabrics in Mission, Kansas. They are, we didn't talk about this, but they are in a ton of snow right now. It's supposed to get like a foot of snow in Kansas City.
Oh yeah.
So
if anybody
I'm not really
who's
sad
in the Midwest or even the eastern side of the country, we're sorry.
Yes.
We feel you. Yeah. And that's not what we're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
Though it is, you know, chilly here. It's
chilly, like in the, you know, upper 50s.
Yeah. It was in the 30s. It was almost freezing this morning when we woke up. So
yes, true. So we'll be there. The snow will be melted by the time I'm there in March. So that'll be great. We'll have a couple of days there. The next week, MSQC is putting on a retreat, and I will be teaching my coat there as well. That's a bigger thing. So if you just want to come to the coat class, that's what I'll be teaching at Casey Maker. The other is a big to do with the MSQC. And then March 8th and 9th, so that next weekend, so one weekend I'll be in Kansas City, and then the next weekend I'm going to be in, I think it's Stoughton is how you pronounce it, Wisconsin, with So Hungry Hippie. And I know that they're selling tickets to that already as well. So I think if you watch her lives or get her newsletter, you'll be able to sign up for that one. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's lots and lots and lots going on. Then
Shari, we're excited to see you in Kansas City as well, and only 5 inches so far. Well,
is that what you said?
I don't think you're done yet.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that it's supposed to be a lot, like supposed to be a foot today, which is crazy. So, and then it's supposed to snow tomorrow. So really, well, and it's funny, totally tangential, but Hawke's mom is visiting from Southern Ohio, and they're supposed to get like 6 inches of snow today. So she's pretty happy to be here and traipsing around Zion yesterday and, you know, enjoying the sunshine in Red Rocks. So
mom and I got a great, I went and picked her up and brought her back across country. We did a little mother-son road trip, and now she's here and we're showing her around all the beautiful country.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
Great. It's great.
And she's avoiding all of the weather drama.
So we're going to back her sometime when it's, you know, not snowing. So anyway, so in April, when it shouldn't hopefully be snowing anywhere, we're going to head up to the New England Quilt Expo. We will be speaking there and teaching there. And I think that's in Pelham, New Hampshire, but it might be somewhere close by. It's put on by the folks at Bits and Pieces, which if you've been watching the show for a long time, watching Sew Together Tuesday for a long time, we went up there when we were on our big road trip. Great store, has a ton of cuddle, and she does long arms and just packed. The fabric, the store is packed with fabric. And anyway, so I'm really excited to go back up there and be with them and get to teach again. So that'll be really fun. And then May 7th, 8th, and 9th will be at H&H, which is it's an industry show, so a trade show that if you're a store owner, we'll have a booth there, and that'll be really fun. We'll get to come and we'll get to show off some new stuff, some new patterns that we're working on, which is pretty exciting.
Gosh,
so I've got a
I
couple of
almost
things.
want to say something, but I don't want to oversell it right now.
Just don't oversell it yet.
Okay. Oh, there's
Wait
a good
till
one
February.
coming, especially if you like coats.
Yeah, and not just this coat.
Not just that coats.
Yeah. Anyway, and then in June, we have our Crinkle Dreams retreat. So this I want to spend just a tiny bit of time with. We have a cute overlay. Do you want to put it up there?
Let's do
There we go.
that one.
Ta-da!
Okay.
It's the Bring On Summer Maker Retreat. And this will be,
Okay.
so this, we're going to hold this in Agency, Missouri, which I taught with Casey Maker there last August. And it's a really, really great retreat center that is about 45 minutes north of Kansas City. And
Art Nest?
Art Nest Retreat Center is what it's called. It's just outside of St. Joseph. So if you know that area at all. And it is just a really fantastic center that has, I don't even know how many bedrooms, has a ton of bedrooms, like 8, 10, 12 bedrooms. Everything has ensuite bathrooms. They've got a big, huge kitchen, lots of eating area. There's different areas that you can hang out. There's like a little library.
They have a library,
which is just
it is super cute.
Yeah, full of
it's
quilt books,
all sewing books and stuff, and it's yummy. If you want to go,
Yep.
you want to go hide and find a little quiet place to have
Yep.
a moment. You'll probably find me there.
Yeah. So there are a few little nooks and crannies there that are like, there's a place where you could play. I think there's a pool table upstairs, I think is what it is.
Oh, I think there is.
Or
air hockey.
Air hockey. Maybe it's air
hockey.
hockey. But there's like games that you can play, but then there's like little hidey holes, which is what I like too. There's also a hot tub. There's a little yoga area. There's an outside barbecue place. Like there's all sorts of stuff there. So you can kind of do whatever you want. And we really want to kind of have this be a place for us to get together, to really work one-on-one with people, and then be able to take some time to relax too. So we're kind of focusing it on education throughout. So we'll have some guest educators that are going to come in via Zoom. We have an amazing swag bag that's building, which I'm super excited about, with stuff from all sorts of companies. So we'll be talking about bag making, stuffed animals, the coats, piecing, all sorts of things. We're going to be able to kind of do a deep dive into there. So if there's a project that you've been wanting to work on, you're absolutely welcome to bring it and we can work on it together and kind of go through things. Or you can work on one of the projects that are there. So either way is totally doable. It's about, I think, half full or so right now. I'm super excited about it. I think it's just going to be a ton of fun. So, and we provide all of the food. Hawke's going to cook for you. We'll bring in some really delicious barbecue from KC because it is the best barbecue around. We'll just have a great time. So that is 4 days. It's 2 full days of sewing and then 2 half days on either end, where we'll have a bunch of fun and get to do a ton of stuff. So Hawke and I will be there. Audrey might be able to be there. And I know some of my long-term friends from here will be there as well. Yes.
Hey, Sue. It's not snowing where you are, but 3 comments up. Nancy says it's snowing in Cincinnati. So it's coming your way and it's coming fast. It's right there. That's the line.
Because Cincinnati is definitely Southern Ohio.
Yep.
Just part of it. Yeah. So anyway, so the Maker Retreat is going to be awesome. You can sign up for that at crinkledreams.com. It's the Bring On Summer Maker Retreat. And it is $750. Including everything. So all food and all lodging, and we'll help you get up there from the KC airport. Like we'll take care of you. We've got some machines that are available through Casey Maker and through the Art Nest Retreat Center. Plus I'm going to be bringing some. So people who are flying in, there's a possibility of getting machines. We have a few of them left. I think it's going to be awesome.
Holly's saying the link on our website's broken. So we will look for the retreat. So we will check that right after this. After these messages.
Now.
Oh.
You're talking.
Okay.
So tell them about the next thing that's after that.
Okay. Do we want to talk about the UK thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a wild thing. We have been asked to join a tour of the United Kingdom, quilting tour, and Teresa and I will be hosting. It happens here. So this overlay didn't work exactly the way we wanted it to.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do this, and now I can't read it. So there we go. So this is all the fun stuff that's happening.
I was gonna say, hold the paper still. So we'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff. So we'll be there for about a week, and we're going to get to visit the Victoria and Albert Museum, and Victoria and Albert Museum,
where we get to see the oldest quilt in the world from like the 1000s.
Yeah, the Blenheim Palace and Gardens, Stratford upon Avon, where Shakespeare is from, the Cotswolds, which I've heard marvelous things about. Highclere Castle, so if you were a Downton Abbey fan, that's the castle. Then we're going to spend 2 days at the Festival of Quilts and get to see all the quilts, and you could sign up for classes if you wanted to. Then we're going to visit Liberty of London, which has some just glorious fabrics. And we'll also visit William Morris's home. And that one is $5,857, and it is through crafttours.com. So you have to go to the link that is down below or search for my name when you go to Craft Tours. Otherwise, there are 2 tours that are going to England for the show, and one of them has me and one of them does not. So
got it. Okay,
so if you want to go with me, then you have to go to that special link that'll say with Teresa Coates. So if you go to crafttours.com, then it'll find it. Okay, so Holly, I need you to tell me what you were looking for on the website, because I found, and if you go to shop, then down at the bottom, workshops and retreats, totally worked for finding the retreat in Missouri. And then I looked at the Dream Team one, and that one worked too. So I'm not sure which link was clicked on that wasn't working. So shoot it up in the comments and I'll go figure it out, because I figure it's broken somewhere. I believe you. I just can't find it. So we'll see if we can figure it out.
It's a lot of links to keep track of right now.
It's a lot. So yeah, like I did say, that if you go to crinkledreams.com, and everything is starting to get hubbed there. So it's taken a little bit of time for us to get things together. It'll be evolving forever. So I'm not really expecting that it's going to stay that way, for the rest of all time. But there is a calendar now on the website that you can find all of these events. And that also lists all of the make episodes, I think the Sunday in the Studio episodes, I think I listed those there as well.
And the Maker Happy
And then
Hours.
the Maker Happy Hours that are part of the Dream Team community. And those are really fun. So those are all the things that are coming up, but it kind of segues a little bit into a couple of things. So recently on the last Maker Happy Hour, we did like a special one when I had visited up in Portland and spent some time with my mom. She had recently got a stripology ruler, and then she got the I think it's like Mastering Your Stripology Ruler or something the book is called. I should have brought it in. I have it too, and I also have a stripology ruler, and I had recently gotten one of the smaller ones, and then I got the big huge one. And she said, "Yo, do you know how to use it?" And I was like, I'm learning. So and I've used it a little bit and had good luck. But at the Dream Team Happy Hour the other day, that's what we worked on, and it was a really great experience, because we all got to kind of work together, and the things that were easy, we got to be like, oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. And then some things we worked on that weren't so easy. So that'll be a continuing learning thing, but it's really one of my favorite things about the happy hour is that we get to just work on things together and get those questions answered of like, have you seen this? Do you do that? Do you know anything about this? And then we just get to work on it together, which is great. So the next one is January 18th.
And that's I'm gonna be hosting that one. Yeah, it's a Saturday morning. And we're gonna hang out in my studio. I'll paint. I think my dad will probably be there. He said he's got a new painting he wants to work on as well. Nice. So that one might be a little more art oriented than sewing oriented.
It's fine.
But it's all the same conversation, I promise, and we'll make sure it relates. Anyway, come hang out with me. And
Audrey was there last time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and she worked on a new crochet pattern that she's got going. So that was so she was working on crochet. I know Kathy comes a lot and knits, and yeah, it's totally fine. Whatever you want to work on, come on in. And that's just part of being in the Dream Team. So what I was working on, and what I had a lot of good luck with the ruler, was this is a saga quilt, and I started that. I made a version of it with the By Annie clam up bag, and I made a small one, and I really liked it. And so
we don't have that pattern listed anywhere.
I don't.
In a banner.
When I get it finished, I'll show you. Yeah. So what it does is you start with 10-inch squares, and then you cut a strip out of the center, and then you repiece them, and then you sew them together, and then you'll cut them again. And I really like it because you end up getting very straight cuts. So the board has, or the ruler has the grippy stuff on the back, so you can like put it down, cut it here, and you don't have to shift your ruler at all. So you're not moving layers.
You do 2 cuts.
You can do 2 cuts. I mean, you could do
without moving your ruler. So that helps, especially if you have like a stack.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So it's been going together really well. I've really liked it for that. We tried, my mom and I, we tried doing we did half square triangles. They were a success. The quarter square triangles were a success. And then we tried to do flying geese, and that was not so successful. So we have some learning to do on that. Like, which line are we doing? Where are we cutting? It was not working. But this has been working really well. What I wanted to bring this up is something we talked about earlier. Because at the maker retreat, one of the things that I asked Hawke if he would be willing to teach is a little bit about like color theory stuff and how do you figure out which fabrics should go together. And this is something that like I just play by ear or by eye, and I kind of look at it and figure things out. But figuring out the value of the color is something that I'm just learning. And so he's helping me through various different tasks that we're doing. And I realized when I was sewing these together that I might have messed up a little bit. So I kind of want to talk about that a little bit and show you where I think I messed up. Because
we're going to start with an overview conversation. I'm going to just kind of give us a little bit of context here. Everybody hears these conversations about color theory, and you see color wheels all over the place. Mm-hmm. Color wheels probably don't help you as much as they're advertised. Trust your instincts. If you like what you're seeing, there's a reason for that. If colors feel good to you, they are going to feel good to somebody else. And if they don't, it's your quilt.
It's your quilt.
It's fine. If you like it, you love it. Great. Yeah. We're going to talk more about maybe why certain colors evoke emotions, and what she's talking about is value. So if you took a bunch of colors or a color wheel and changed it to black and white, you would see that there are dark colors and light colors. That's all we mean by value, is that there are dark colors and light colors. And you had maybe a little problem with language because there were 2 different collections in the Morris.
Right. So I had bought these 10 squares a while ago, and there was a winter or a fall collection of them and a spring collection of them. And I love William Morris prints. Like, really, that was one of the things when they were like, would you like to go to England and lead the tour? And it will go to the William Morris house. And I was like, yes, I would. Thank you. So like, I really love his designs. I've always loved them. And so when I got these 10 squares, they were in like his fabrics in what I considered lights and darks because of winter and spring. But what I found is, as I'm going together, like this one seems very obvious that this would be a light and this would be a dark.
Okay.
It seems pretty that they
see that.
And they work well together.
If you imagine that was black and white, yes.
And then I start getting a little bit more that I'm not really quite sure. Let me find, there's a couple of them in here that I'm really like, nah, I don't really. Here we go.
This one.
Here's one.
Where it seems like maybe they both ended up being
that they're both kind of medium.
I think you're gonna find out that this is gonna work really well. So yeah, I don't.
This would be another one that I feel like this is kind of a medium and a medium.
I think your instincts are gonna work out in this way.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. I'm not sure, but I'll trust you on that. Would you do me a favor and go grab off the wall the 2 quilt things that we did in EQ8 last week or a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Because this is something that, like, I know that giving your eye a place to rest is important, and having different values so we can, like, that your eye will move across and it won't just all seem very bleh, which I think we've probably all seen quilts that way that turned out a little less dynamic than we were really hoping they would. And this is so many different fabrics that I just want to make sure that it turns out well. So thanks for making me feel a little bit better about it. I feel like some of these.
I can encourage you through this. I think it's going to be okay.
Okay, so what he's got here is a mock-up of a coat back that I'm going to work on. So this is a quilt sampler kind of coat back. And I put it all together, and then we printed it out in black and white to see, do the colors work, does it move around? And it's really interesting because you can kind of see it totally plays differently in my head how it works, whether it's in black and white or in color. And like you can see this bottom part here, these all seem very different to me until you get over here, and then it's not so different.
Okay, got it.
Right. So I think that does play with some things, and you can't base all of it on the black and white, but it is an interesting thing. And Audrey was telling me that when she was in college and they were doing in one of her art classes, they actually had them put together a whole painting or something. I can't remember what it was exactly. Might have been a digital drawing, but they had to use all medium value basically and paint this picture, create this picture, and then print it in black and white and print it in color, and to see like it became very muddied, and you can kind of see why it doesn't work as well, is that you really do need this in the black and white. It's very easy to see where your eye goes on there,
right?
Where it's not so much because it's not affected by color. I don't think it's critical that it will, make or break a quilt, but I do think it's something for me to keep in mind, because I have made things that I've been like, just didn't like, dynamic is kind of the word that I want to use for it. It didn't turn out as dynamic as I thought it would be, and I really do feel like a lot of times it's because of that value.
We're gonna talk about that more at the retreat, and I'm sure it's going to come up during make as well, during our make shows.
We will keep talking about it.
Absolutely.
So this is my new project that I'm working on. I'm probably about maybe 2/3 through the stack of pieces that I have to put together. Then I have to cut these apart and sew them together again, and then put them together. And I'm hoping to make this, I'm hoping to make this into a coat for Quiltcon, because we're going to be there at the Casey Maker booth at Quiltcon. So if you're going to be there, come by, say hi. We'll have patterns and some samples and some try-onables. So if you are interested in making the coat, we'll have some that you can try on and see which size is yours. Okay. Were you looking for something specific? On Crinkle Dreams, the sign-up link.
I have a great friend from Pittsburgh. When I lived there, I went to art school in Pittsburgh, and her name is Joy, and she and her mom live here in St. George, and they take care of the koi fish and water our plants while we're on all of these adventures. I'm not sure if she's exactly ready to help us with all of 2025's travel schedule yet. We may have to move the plants and the koi over to her house.
I think, because Holly's saying the sign up link. So I think that what you're seeing probably, we're just going to do a deep dive into this one right here. So in Crinkle Dreams, if you go to crinkledreams.com, you go to Dream Team Community, and then you want to sign up for it, it says like, take a look around the Dream Team. If you want to actually join it, you have to click the red button up in the right corner. It'll say join. Otherwise, you get to kind of look around and see the free stuff. And then if you want to join, there's a join link up top. If I'm totally wrong, Holly, just reach out. Thank you. See?
Got it.
She's just going to email me.
Yeah, we'll get it worked out. And
I totally will. I'll get it figured out. But
I'm sure it's on.
This is another reminder that thank you. When people email and say, hey, that link didn't work, or you're missing a letter in that word, or whatever, like these little things that you guys help out with, you email me and let me know about things. I really do appreciate it.
We're not embarrassed unless it's been sitting there and nobody's told us for a month. And then we're like, oh, wow, that was a bummer. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Help us help you.
I really help us help you. So I really do appreciate it. So anyway, that coat is the project that I'm working on right now. Last time when we were here for Make, I was working on my Christmas quilt, and I told you I'd started it in a Maker Happy Hour. I pulled out the kit. I'd had it for eons, basically, and I started putting it together. Well, when I pulled it out, I actually took a picture, and I should have found it and to show you guys. The instructions were all of 4 lines that basically said, cut out the pieces, sew them together, make a quilt. Quilt as desired. So that was pretty much the extent of the directions. And as I was putting it together, I was slightly frustrated as a pattern designer at one, how little instructions there were, and that the pattern pieces didn't really jive. So there was no edges that perfectly matched, and I wasn't sure exactly how to put them together as well as I could. I didn't really trim things. I just put them, and then I just put them together. What happened with that,
show us,
is that things weren't working quite right. So this was
the blocks look super cute.
They're pretty cute.
And they look nicely pieced, but when you try to
they don't always. So these work this way. Okay, So they match, right? Got those. And then here we're like way off. Even though it's here, it's way off. Yeah, and it really is just part of how this went together because I wasn't trimming things up as I went. I had nothing to say like this is how big your triangle should be. Trim it at this length, like, and because you had the way that these went together, you sewed this piece to this piece. Okay, so these two, but this piece went way up here, and you had to like trim off the tail. And then hope that you trimmed it at the right place because there was nowhere that said this is how big it should be. And that was, I just trimmed it. And sometimes it worked out and sometimes it didn't. So I'm really at a point with this that like they're so
some of them are
different
so off that you're probably not going to be able to finish the quilt.
that I'm not really sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot to have off in a quilt block. Like I can't just stretch everything.
And trying to re-square them right now doesn't really work either because you end up cutting off points that you needed.
Because this was the thing is the way that it was made, it was really hard to get points. Sometimes they turned out great, and then sometimes they didn't. This one's beautiful.
So the takeaway, what's the takeaway from this trouble? Because you are actually in the middle of writing your own new quilt pattern right now that has a lot of triangles in it.
Yes.
And maybe paper pieced and maybe templates at the end.
Yes. And right now I'm fighting with that choice of creating templates or creating a paper piece. This had templates that I cut out the shape and then sewed them together. I'm I've done it both ways now. Right. I've done it with a template and I've done it paper piecing, and paper piecing is much more accurate, but then you've got to deal with the paper piecing part.
And it's also a little wasteful on the material side.
It's a little wasteful on the fabric side. So yeah, I'm playing back and forth. So I have the quilt, I'm planning to put it out in by May. I have to get the all the fabric and everything and make it. But it is this interesting thing, and having made these and seeing how hard it was to get my points to turn out perfectly, which is frustrating for me because I really like them to be pretty perfect. And this, I couldn't get them to be perfect on all the sides. And so I was like, do I cut this up and put it together a different way? Do I make it kind of a crazy quilt by chopping these up? I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. But I have a whole stack of them. So there's that. And it does make me rethink how I write the patterns and how I create the templates so that it becomes much more easy to just follow the directions and get to the desired results and not have to make choices on your own about where these should fit together, where should I trim it, because not knowing that really, it caused me some issues, which is frustrating.
I think what we had talked about was the idea that in a pattern, if it's written well, and there is this opportunity for things to not necessarily work out quite right along the way, there needs to be this moment in the pattern that checks in with you to make sure that you are getting the results that are going to take you to the next step correctly. Mm-hmm. So it's good for us because I help with the pattern writing too a little bit on the editing side of things, and there are assumptions made. About what folks might know or what they're already good at or what they're aware of. And sometimes in that assumption, well, there's a saying about that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, and we're not
assumptions. Yeah. Yes. And it is. It's just, it makes me rethink how I design the patterns. So is it, Jeannie? Is it Jean? Jean suggested that I just find the smallest one and cut them to that size, which I absolutely can. And that's kind of my thought. And then I'm like, I'll just put it together. It can be a practice one for him to quilt. Totally fine.
Doing that's going to blunt a bunch of the stars.
Right. What will happen is that it cuts off the end. So if this one is, almost a half an inch bigger, it's going to end up that the seam allowance is going to be in here, which is it's just a frustration that I'm like, it's fine. And I have to take a step back sometimes and not try to be so perfect with it. But it is just a frustration. Somebody asked too, Vicky asked if I've used EQ8, and that's exactly what I have used. Is I use a combination of EQ8 and Illustrator. That's what these are from.
These guys were generated in EQ8.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it starts, is in EQ8, and then I have to go from there. But EQ8 doesn't tell you how to put it together. They just tell you what the shape of the finished piece is, and then you have to figure out, how do I put this together? How do I create this? And for me, to create it myself is one thing, but how do I create it so that other people can make it and make it successfully is really, that's important to me. And that's a lot of, trial and error. So for right now, I keep making these little samples. So I've made, 4 blocks or something for this quilt that I keep making it different ways. And I will keep doing that until I get it figured out, because the quilt is beautiful. The way it's designed is gorgeous. In EQ8, it looks awesome. I can't wait to do it, but it is a matter of trying to figure it out so that it's replicatable. That's really the biggest issue with designing patterns, that I have found things that are not as replicatable, and that's very frustrating. So yeah.
It's a good question over here from Elaine, unrelated. We're going to go ahead and probably change topics a little bit.
That's okay. Go for it.
So are we going to be at Quiltcon in Phoenix?
Yes. So yes. So I will hopefully have this William Morris quilt into a coat, and you can find me that way. So we'll be at the Casey Maker Studio booth. So Casey Maker Studio and Fabrics is their real name. So if you look for them, they will be at Quiltcon, and we're going to be hanging out in their booth. I'm really looking forward to it. Amy from Sewtopia is going to be there. I was talking to her yesterday, and I know that Carly Porter is going to be there. I was talking with her, and she's going to be selling a bunch of stuff, like pre-quilted stuff by her, which I'm probably going to need to get my hands on. Because I do love her stuff. That was a really lovely, we got to do an interview with her and with Biani, and that was super fun to get to talk to her. I love Carly Porter's designs. I like her
MO.
aesthetic. Like, she's just fun.
Yeah.
She's really fun. If you don't know her, you should look for her. She does
the graffiti quilting.
Just
Is
graffiti
her
quilting.
claim to fame.
Exactly. But what I love about this, totally tangential, but what I love about her, like, business as a whole, is that if you're a long armor, you can take classes with her, and you can learn how to do graffiti quilting yourself. If you are not somebody who likes free motion quilting, you can buy her digital designs and do it yourself with a pantograph. If you are not a long arm quilter, you can do it on your embroidery machine, and she has a whole bunch of embroidery designs. So she's really made that quilting style available for everybody. And I really love that, because I'm not a quilter in that way. I'm a piecer is really what I am. And then I like to just ship it off to somebody, or just push it that way and say, here, honey, could you do this?
And I'm learning, and I'm certainly, I love the graffiti quilting style, and I will make it my own at some point.
Yeah. So it's nice to be able to do it. And I've done it. Yeah. And I've done it on the embroidery machine, because I know how to use that. So I love that sort of thing. And I think it's important. So you were holding the little bear.
Oh, I was
Did you want to talk about it? Or were you just cuddling?
I needed a whoopee.
So this is the Rustic Horseshoe ragdoll bear. Oh, look, thumbs up. And I made him last week. I am working on a course with him for online to learn how to make him and how to work with the stuffed animal stuff. So he is a great one for learning how to make stuffies. I absolutely love him. So this one is made out of Cuddle 3, and I have another one in process that I'm making out of Lux Cuddle. We'll probably talk about him on Wednesday too, and when that course will be available. So
it's very snuggly.
It's just definitely a more one-on-one, get into the nitty-gritties about making stuffed animals. So I'm excited about that. Yes. He? It's a he? Okay. I guess it's a he. Also, you can find clothes to make for him on rustichorseshoe.com. Find the pattern there. You can also make clothes, and I'm going to do that too. I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, so we got lots of fun things coming up, but it's just this matter of I don't know, trying to learn more, do more. The long arm is kind of sat there for a little bit. We got to get a project out there for you.
Oh, the long arm is outside on the porch. It's under a roof, but it's open air right now, and it has not really been. I haven't really been wanting to go out there and work on it because the weather hasn't been great here either.
It hasn't been warm. It's not been bad. It's just not warm, and it's not as much fun to stand outside when it's not warm. So, yeah, it's totally true. Did you finish your painting?
I didn't. You know what? It might be finished now.
I think we should
I
show
probably
him.
need to. I probably need to.
Because you brought it
sign
out before.
I need to sign it and call it a day.
So, because it is in the studio and he
Right
painted
here.
it and it's
Okay.
lovely. It's
All
a good
right.
it's a good remembrance of here.
There we go. That's where it ended up.
Yeah. Isn't that lovely?
It needs to be signed and varnished, and it's probably ready for a
Mm-hmm.
frame.
So that is Monument Valley, and it is in Arizona,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Northern Arizona. Really lovely, beautiful place. Absolutely beautiful. And so that's, yeah.
There.
Oh, shoot.
Nope. I guess we're just gonna sit it back here.
Okay.
Oh well.
Losing it behind the couch would be a terrible idea. Like, I'm not even sure how we'd get it back. You can't really see, but the couch fits this room. That's it.
It's my studio is one couch wide.
One couch wide. So yes, we will be at Quiltcon. That'll be the next place that you can find us, unless you happen to be in, Southern Utah, Vegas area. Come north, come to my quilt coat class on the 18th. You can sign up for that on my website as well. Was there something else we needed to tell them? I feel like we can kind of almost wrap it up, unless you guys have questions.
I think so. I think we just want to reiterate for sure that if you are available Wednesday morning to come watch the new show, obviously it will be recorded and available on Facebook and YouTube for the future. But we would love to see you there live, and we're up to our old tricks.
Yes. I'm really excited. So it will be a constant, probably Sunday in the studio. We're going to do it for a while as well as we can. The travel, I mean, as you saw, like the travel schedule is kind of crazy this next year. So being able to put out patterns, create the make show, and do all the stuff that needs to get done, we'll have to see what we get to do. But we're planning to be back the beginning of February. Can you meet? Oh, I have a drink. Never mind. We'll be back February. I'm not sure what the date is.
5th, I think. Also. But
For make. Yeah, but I was saying for Sunday in the studio.
Okay,
We'll
got
be
it.
back then.
Yeah,
It's the first Sunday.
Yeah.
So the 2nd or something like that. Whatever the Sunday is, we'll be back for Sunday in the studio then. We'll have more information to share as things sort of start to come together a little bit more. We've got just a ton. There are a few more things. I'm probably going to be in Cleveland in April, and we don't have that on there because we haven't gotten that all confirmed. There's definitely more that's coming, probably teaching in Salt Lake. So there's
Vicky, you're absolutely right. I'm sure that the oil has gotten a little thick on the long arm sitting out there. So yes, I probably have an uphill battle no matter what I do.
Probably. Sherry asked what I'm doing at the second day of Casey Maker, and we haven't decided what we want to do. So if you want to pitch an idea, tell me what you'd like to do. I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, we haven't talked about it. I know the coat class is nearly full, and we should probably figure out what we're doing for day 2.
So the Renee, the note cards that have the sewing machines on them, that my drawing of the featherweight are not available right now on the website. We're working out some different stuff with the printing right now. I'm not super happy with the way they turned out before. And as soon as they're up again, we'll let you know. And I definitely have been working on the most recent drawing for a new one. I know everybody loves featherweights, but also everybody loves Berninas, and it was great for me to do a little deep dive into the history of Bernina and how long they've been a company. So this is
super good to show up.
This is my drawing of the Bernina 105. It's from 1932 or 1934, I believe. Anyway, the little picture that's the photograph, and then the other part, the big one, is actually my drawing, which it's pretty hard to tell the difference. But anyway, let me
it's pretty hard to tell
at this level anyway, with all the screen stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, there is a little bit of detail on what's going on there.
Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely.
And then
gorgeous.
that's the photograph I'm working from. So there you go.
So it should be done at some point, and then we'll do something with it. We have to we'll have to talk with the Bernina folks and see what we can do.
There's the big Bernina logo on there.
It is absolutely gorgeous. So that was the second machine he did. He also did the featherweight, and that's the cards that Renee was asking about. So we'll print them again. We have a whole bunch of things to reprint. We just updated the elemental coat, so there is now a smaller size to it.
That's the featherweight we're talking about.
And then we'll be redoing more patterns and the note cards. Yeah, I love that featherweight. So lots of fun things. So one of the things that we've been adding to the website is we have new products, and I really should get up there and make sure that there's like a new category or something. We did just add the t-shirts.
Oh, good. So
we've got
make
t-shirts that are available there,
and a hoodie.
It's not a hoodie; it's a long sleeve tee.
Okay,
I think is what I've got up there.
Hoodies are
we're gonna
come.
get a hoodie, and then I also did one with the sticker logo that I did that says "Life is short, make stuff." And that one is now a t-shirt as well. So we have some on the way to us. And
to do a little quality control.
Yeah. And if they turned out well, we'll wear them on Wednesday. So that'll be fun. I'm excited about it. So we are trying to get some more things up there. And if there's anything that you are interested in seeing, whether it's, a new pattern, tutorials for blah, 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 do let us know, because my focus really on having any of these lives and doing the patterns is really to share my love of sewing and my knowledge of sewing with folks. So if there is something specific that you want to know, I'm really happy to share what I already know, but then also learn more to teach it. I was thinking about this the other day because I was watching a bunch of different tutorials and reading books on foundation paper piecing, because I have the way that I do it, but I really want to learn how other people do it so that I can show you guys, because you're going to find one that works well for you. And I realize it's a little bit like homeschooling older kids, where you have to like learn the stuff so you can teach them. So that's a little bit what I'm doing, is like learning all this stuff, but I have the ability to kind of gather all that stuff, get it together, and then present it to you. So if there's something that you want to learn, please do ask. I really want this to be helpful for all of us, and I want us to all learn and really love sewing and quilting and making in all the ways. It's super important to me. So, all right. Did you have anything else we need to add?
I think
we always have so much we want to tell you, and then it's hard.
I think we're good this time.
Okay, good. We knocked it out in about an hour.
Come see us on Wednesday morning.
Yes, Wednesday morning we'll be there, 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, 11 Central, right? Did I say Mountain? Mountain, 10 Mountain, 11 Central.
There's the other dates for Make.
Oh, there they are. Great. Good. So come find us. It'll be fun. Make is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. And thank you for your feedback and for your help. I appreciate it so much. Your support has been wonderful. So until Wednesday, until next month for Sunday in the Studio, happy sewing.
Happy sewing.
Happy sewing.